So we've hiked about 220 kilometres since we started that hike about 10 days ago, and now we're in the town of Ichinoseki trying to catch a train south and into the mountains where we're going to stay for a couple of nights. Hopefully it's a little bit colder than it's been here. It's been fairly cool here, but no snow. This is the sort of thing we're going to try and catch, is one of these things. That is a bullet train here in Japan. This particular style, they call it the Hayabusa. And it travels right down the spine from northern Japan to Tokyo. It's a fantastic looking train. They top out at about 320 kilometres an hour. Our one's due in about 20 minutes. But just look at the nose on that thing. Isn't that unreal? I'll try and show you what it's like inside the train. I mean, pointing the camera out the window on these things is not really exciting. It doesn't even look like you're going that fast. It doesn't feel like you're going that fast, really. But I'll give you a look at the sort of the seat layout and that sort of thing. And I'll also show you when we get to our destination, which is supposed to be very beautiful, up in the hills near Nagano, where I think there was a Winter Olympics there some years ago. Now I can see a Shinkansen coming right now. Look at this thing go. Oh my God. That was... like, that just gets, that gives me goosebumps seeing that thing come through there. That was insane. I could see that about 1 kilometre away, and before you know it, it's on you and just gone. So that's obviously the express. This one's pretty fast too, but that one's like the super express, no stopping one. I'm still actually a little bit astounded at how fast that thing came down the track. Like I sort of filmed it like, well, when I first saw it, it's down there. It's about 1 kilometre I can see a very long way straight down the track. And as it was coming towards me, you know when you put a video on like 2 or 3 times fast forward, and it's like, it looks almost a little bit fake at how fast things move, like cars might be going real fast. That's what it looked like in real time coming towards me. It was just ridiculously fast. Amazing, love it. I don't know why I'm getting excited by a train, but I don't know. It's one of those things that's just exciting for me. So this train is really quiet, so I'm having to speak really close to the microphone. Like, this is what it looks like. Plenty of leg room. Nice little pocket, a little charging socket, and that's the view out the window. So this is what it looks like when you're going this speed, 310. Like, it doesn't feel extremely fast. It feels a bit fast, like. But it feels pretty normal, like it's quite a smooth ride as well. I was going to show you a couple of things like the toilets and so forth, but they're not really of any interest at all. Like, it's pretty standard stuff. The train, I mean, it's pretty simple. There's not much to it. It's fast though, and that's the main thing about it. I do love the trains here in Japan. They're pretty special. So this is a 422 kilometre journey, takes 1 hour and 50 minutes. That's a bit slower than some of the trains that go along this route, mainly because this stops at a lot of stations, but there are other trains which are express, which would take probably 1 hour and a half or something like that, quite a lot quicker. So we've actually arrived in a place called Shiga Kogen, not far from Nagano. I'll show you around the room a little bit. It's pretty cool. It's quite large. This is sort of like a typical Japanese bathroom where you've got a bath and then you've got a shower, and you can actually just shower straight onto the floor there, and that gets all wet, but that's okay because you've got a separate area out here. That's the dry area. That's a pretty standard older style Japanese bathroom. And then even though this is a Western room, it has all the Japanese touches. It's got a living room, and then that's what the room looks like. So you have tatami mats. In a Japanese style room, they'll just sling a few futons on the floor and a couple of bean bags. And then, yeah, so it's got the Japanese styling, but, you know, got Western beds. Places like this usually have a onsen here, like a hot spring sort of bath, a public bath that you can go to, restaurants and that sort of stuff. This is a skiing area, so I didn't actually mention that. Outside there, that is snow that you can see out there. There's not a lot of it. I think I asked a guy when the last time it snowed here was, and he said, oh, about a week ago. And it's not that cold outside. Like, you don't even need a jacket, really. We'll see how it goes. We're here for a couple of nights, and if it does snow, I'll show you that. I'm not even sure what we're doing here. Like, we're not going to ski, because there's not enough snow around for skiing anyway. I don't know, maybe go for a walk around. Apparently there's a, you might have seen like photos of a monkey hot spring, like the monkeys going to a hot spring thing. That apparently is one of those things around here. Might have a look at that, maybe. Don't know. Because this part of Japan is a ski area and we've just entered winter, of course there's gonna be a lot of snow around, and there is a heap. Apparently it hasn't snowed properly here for a week, so a lot of this snow is not really fresh or anything like that. I mean, I can step on it and not really sink in it too much. We're going to go for a bit of a hike today. Well, we're going to try to go for a bit of a hike up this mountain ahead, because the ski season hasn't really started yet, because there's not quite enough snow on the slopes. So we were sort of thinking you should be able to just walk around the mountains, but we don't know until we give it a go, because you might get halfway up there and find out it's up to your thighs in snow. So we're going to give it a go and see how far we can get, because apparently it's very beautiful once you get into the mountains proper, up the top of the hills. But I mean, even without that, I mean, it is quite beautiful. If this was Australia, like, people would be skiing already on all this hard, slushy snow. Like, it's just enough to ski on, I reckon. But here in Japan, they get such good snow seasons that they're not going to sort of waste time by skiing on this sort of stuff. Apparently in the next few days it's going to have a big dump of snow anyway, so they'll probably be in full swing then. I can see that even higher up there's a mountain in the distance. Right at the top of that mountain there's a ski lift. There seems to be ski lifts everywhere. It's an amazing thing. The other interesting point is that at our hotel, which is quite a large modern hotel, well, I mean, it's an old hotel that's been renovated. There is only one other guest staying there, so it's almost completely empty. It's a bit weird going to dinner and then there's just one other couple sitting there, and the rest of the area seems very quiet. So I'm guessing that when the snow really starts coming down, this starts getting a bit busier. But at this moment, just before the snow comes, so dead. We've stayed in a lot of hotels in Japan where they're really massive hotels, and we are either the only ones or there might be only one other guest. And I always am reminded of The Shining. It always reminds me of that movie where you're locked up inside this big grand old hotel, and you know, the lights are usually on automated sensors, so you walk into a pitch black hallway and then all of a sudden, whoosh. It's yeah, it's weird in Japan. Let's get going. So we've just climbed the top of one of the hills around here, and well, the snow's a bit thicker than we anticipated. Like, we're probably going shin deep in the snow at the moment, and it's hard going. I don't think we're going to be able to do the full trek that we wanted to do. I wouldn't mind getting a look at the view though. If we can just get over the top of this hill, I should be able to get a bit of a view over the valley below, but even that's proving to be a little bit difficult. Well, that's the view to the valley below. It's quite beautiful, quite beautiful. I don't think we're going to be able to continue on the trek. To be honest, it's quite hard going through the snow. It's a little bit more snow than we expected, so it's probably best to sort of back out now. Might just go up to a lake or something up there. I can see some footprints and maybe that's it, but other than that, I'm not sure it's a good idea to go for a big trek. So this is the little pond that we've gotten to here. This is at 1800 meters above sea level, so the mountain over there in the distance, that'll be, I don't know, it'd have to be over 2,000, maybe 2,300 or something. That's a long way up over there, like a huge distance over there. The path is all right, but I don't know, I just think it's a little bit foolhardy to be going up there, like really remote, you know, when you're not really experienced with this sort of stuff. So I think we're going to head back.
So this morning the weather's taken a bit of a turn for the worst, and it looks like we've had, well, nearly 30 centimetres of snow overnight, and it's gotten a lot colder as well, like really icy cold. They're saying it's -8 and blowing a bit of wind out there. Still snowing a little bit now, but gee, it's just a winter wonderland. There's something about snowy environments that are just so pleasant. I don't know. I mean, it gets a bit ordinary after a little while, doesn't it? But just the visual of it is just amazing. I love the look of that. The plan this morning is to actually try and see some of these snow monkeys, see if they're out and about, but I don't know. Even though they're called snow monkeys, I can't imagine they'll be out in this. I mean, this is crazy how bad this weather is. The thing about cold weather is that it's actually not a big deal if you dress properly. And it's sort of the same thing with any environment that you're going to. There's not really bad weather. It's sort of like a lack of preparation, which is the main thing when you go out and about in nature and you feel uncomfortable. Because even if it's raining, you know, you can always get around some of that discomfort by having the right gear. I find, not always, but most of the time. And here, I've got this nice jacket on and I don't feel cold at all. My hands are cold because I didn't bring gloves. Now that's definitely a lack of preparation. But other than that, oh, there goes a garbage truck. That's got chains on. Obviously it's hard to get up here otherwise. But yeah, and my legs are cold as well because I've just got a thin pair of pants on, which, let's be fair, just not really suitable for this sort of weather, but other than that, it's fine. So lack of preparation rather than the weather itself is often the main reason I find that you might be uncomfortable somewhere. So we're off to the Snow Monkey Park, and just the road to get there, it's amazing. We've caught a bus from our hotel. We've actually checked out of our hotel, and it drops you off in the middle of nowhere, and you've got to walk along this road to get there, and it's just beautiful. The houses here are just like from a fairy tale. So beautiful. Japan is a beautiful, beautiful country. Just one of these places that, I don't know, you have to come. You have to come in this sort of weather. There's hot water in that gutter as well. I can see it steaming out of there. This is a little bit concerning. The monkeys have not yet come to the park from the mountain. I think we might actually check it out anyway, because you just never know. It's about I don't know, half an hour walk from here. Maybe they'll appear in the meantime. Even without the monkeys, I think this is a worthwhile little walk to do anyway. Like, you don't even have to pay to be here. This is just part of a public walking path. Of course, once you get to the front gate, you have to pay a little bit of money to see the monkeys, but it's not much. It's like, I don't know, 800 yen or like $8 Australian, $6 US, something along those lines. Not a big deal. Beautiful. I hope the monkeys come out. If they don't, well, that's okay, that's nature. But just look how spectacular that is. I mean, Japan has so many different sides to it. It's just everything about it. Oh, I just love all of it, love it. Japan is one of my favourite countries that I've ever travelled to. It's because there's so many aspects that I love about it. Now, it's not to everyone's taste, that's for sure, you know. I understand that, and the food I love, but again, not to everyone's tastes. But if you do like Japanese food and you enjoy some of this sort of outdoor stuff, there's hardly a better place in the world for it. Some scene, isn't it? Bit of a hike up here. I'm actually sweating a little bit now. You know, when you start exercising, you've got, you know, even if it's cold outside, you've got warm clothes on it. Builds up a little bit, so I'm taking my hat off. Well, there are no monkeys, unfortunately, but we do have an unreal scene. Look at that. Isn't that just spectacular? I love it up here. It's just really nice to be out in the snow for a while. I think if you lived up in the snow, it might get a bit ordinary pretty quick, but it's nice just to visit every now and then, isn't it? Funniest thing just happened. Susan just got her first arigato. I thought that was pretty funny. It's funny when people mistake your race or nationality, and they do it in good nature, no problem. But sometimes what happens in some countries like Morocco, Susan was getting like racially abused there, and people teasing her race by saying things like, would you like Moroccan sushi, or you know, like doing a really exaggerated bowing and stuff like that. Really disingenuous and a little bit, you know, like the bullying behaviour. But yeah, here, no big deal. But when the people do it in bad faith, that's when it's bad. Well, that's about it for today. Thanks for coming along on the journey from up the north of Japan, right down into the central mountains. Pretty cool around here. I really enjoyed it. My first time actually in these central mountains. Well, I've been once before, but like my first sort of in a skiing area. Beautiful. It's easy to get around here in Japan on public transport, and these days with the apps like Google Maps and so forth, you don't even need to speak the language, you don't need timetables or anything, just so easy. It's fairly cheap as well, Japan, like compared to many developed economies. Really love it here. This probably will be my last video in Japan. My last casual video here in Japan. The next one you'll see will probably be in Sonora, unless the inspiration takes me on another journey somewhere else here in Japan before I get back. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Keep up to date with all things Sonora and the rest of Indonesia, a bit of Japan as well. I'll catch you next time, and Sampai Jumpa.